Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of TerraTech. And on tonight's episode, we are going to be continuing where we left off. Now, on the last episode, we created a couple of new bots that were for Halloween. That got me into the spirit of creating a bot that I've been thinking about for a while. Now, this is a character based off of a video game. Now, I'm not going to tell you who or what character that is on this episode. On the next one, I will. So if you guys want to leave your guesses down in the comment section below, we will definitely see who was right and who was wrong on that one. Of course, there are no wrong answers. It is just a cool little bot to kind of build. I did take a long time to build this one, actually. He's not even completely done. You will see on the back, he is kind of left open. I did that on purpose so that you guys could see what the inside looked like. And then we'll be finishing that up on this one. And what we don't finish up on this episode, I will finish up. And in the next episode, we're going to take this guy for a spin in our actual game. I didn't use any pieces that I don't have access to in the regular game. So there's no color blocks, no special things of that sort. Now, this guy, this character that I created, his head looks a little wonky. I wasn't too happy with it. I think we're going to mess around with that a little bit, see if we can get that a little bit better than it is. And this weapon over here on the side came out a lot bigger and kind of bulkier than I would like. I really like the fist that's down here on the bottom. I think it kind of came out really well. You can see like his thumb poking up here, and then these little fingertips for the Hawkeye. I used a lot of Hawkeye ones because I did like the color for him. I really wish I could have integrated more of the colored blocks into the design, because there's a few places where I would have done that a little bit better, like right here in the center where it switches from his body armor to almost the weaker part of his section when it goes to his legs. And the legs themselves, I want it as much on the ground as possible so that there would be the weight distribution, and I don't think it's going to be near enough weight distribution. As you can see right now, it has one wheel down there and another tiny geocore wheel, and then a whole bunch of these zero G plates for the ventures to kind of help with that weight. But yeah, that's not even going to be close to the amount of weight distribution that we're going to need. So I'm hoping that it works. In fact, we can kind of take off a little bit here, and you will see he is just going to fall straight backwards. So what I'm thinking is on the back of his bot, on the back of this guy right here, and I'm going to let it go into build mode and let it kind of calm down a little bit before I take it out. I will put something kind of coming out the back of his shoe, almost like a training wheel that's kind of going to prop it up a little bit more. And of course, as we go back and start building this guy out and finishing out the second half of him, then I think maybe we might be able to get one more wheel in there and just kind of even out all that weight. Like you can see right now, it's just all in the front because that's where everything is. But you have a fist over here on the side, and I do love the little fingertips. I think that really kind of brings it together, something we didn't have until recently. And then over here on the side, I kind of went all out, and then I was thinking, no, I should do this on camera so you guys can see at least what's involved, because this one, it's pretty much sealed up. You can't get in there anymore, so I had to build that as I went down. And you can see there's some lights in there, so at night this thing should really start popping. And then of course we got these little pointer radars, and I was thinking, that's going to be kind of cool at night too, to see how that kind of pops as well. And then we have the corner pieces that really make it look like a giant laser coming out, and all these little light strips in there to kind of give that feel that it's a massive cannon of getting ready to fire. And along the edge, I went ahead and put some of these Hawkeye Seeker missile pods. There's going to be damage included in this guy. He's going to be able to actually fire. He's not just all looks and no bark to his bite. So hopefully, or no bite to his bark, I should say. Yeah, but hopefully he's going to be fairly good. I do want to put more lights on this guy so he kind of appears to be very intimidating from afar. And then over here on the legs, like I said, I really needed them to go straight, but I had wished that I could have put one of them with like a knee, kneeling out a little bit, maybe almost in a running position for both of the legs. I think it would have made the guy a little bit more animated. Right now, he kind of looks like the Iron Giant from the cartoon. That's not the guy. I was kind of modeling it after, but he does kind of bear a resemblance to him, other than in color. And then this guy up here, another one of the cannons. I'm not sure what weapons I should put on him. Anything that I put up here is pretty much going to be useless unless it can hit from afar. And there's only a few weapons that I know of that can do that, such as the Seeker missiles and the cruise missiles. So I may put a few of those up here just because I don't want to get owned on the first enemy that we come across. But also, I do want to have aesthetics in mind, so I was thinking more of the rail guns, because the rail gun would look really, really cool when it fired. It just wouldn't hit anything up here because it's way too high. Unless I was taking on, like a helicopter or something like that, and it happened to fly in the exact position that I could hit it with these, then yeah, then maybe. But how often is that going to happen? We can't bank on the 1 in a million shot that just never gonna actually come to fruition. So we are, I guess, gonna put those on there just for looks, and maybe somewhere in the back we might throw a few of these cruiser missiles, kind of like up here or around the back. I'm not sure yet. I don't really want to add more blocks back here just yet. I guess we could actually. It does seem like a little low. I'm trying to make it where it steps down, kind of fluid. The guy I'm basing this off of is not a blocky character, so trying to integrate it into that is somewhat of a new experience. I've played Minecraft. I love Minecraft. Am I good at Minecraft? I can play it, so I guess. But am I capable of creating designs in Minecraft for objects that aren't blocky, and making them blocky is the whole point of that conversation. And the answer is sometimes. So I do need a little bit more experience, and this is definitely giving me that experience of thinking in the mindset that I need. And this does not want to turn around. Yeah, those are facing the wrong way. What? Why would that? Oh, great. And I took out a block. And you can see they get kind of blurry up here. It's because we're so high up right now that I guess they're trying to integrate the altitude to make it seem a lot higher. I don't know if I want to keep those blocks right there. No. Do we want to take... No, we want to keep those. Okay, so we'll keep those there. And I'll just go with 2. I don't want to go overboard and create too many right there. Maybe I'll put a couple here on the side. I don't think these launch very well. I have tried them in the past, and they seem to fall off rather easy and not go anywhere. But we'll put a couple there and see if it works. But like I said, do not get your hopes up on that one, because I doubt it's going to happen. Let's see, what about over here on the side? Nothing for the hand. I wish it could work. I wish we could put a joint in there, some type of hitch that would have this arm kind of swing back and forth, and maybe with speed alone you could stop roughly and have it come flying forward and punch a bot and just kind of destroy him. It is way too high, but imagine this bot against another one of the equal size in different shape, like Battle of the... almost like one of those old movies. In fact, they just came out with one not too long ago. What was that one called? It had these giant robots fighting each other against dinosaur-type creatures, and they had to close the rift. I know somebody out there is shouting it on the screen, but I can't think of what it's called right now, so I have to think about it. But one of the other things we need to kind of fix down here is creating the armor. One of the things that I did notice is, as I kept putting things down, if you put too much of the armor plating, or I mean too much of the black blocks down, they blend into each other way too much, and you just cannot see pretty much any definition. You can't see where the blocks kind of pop out and there's an extra layer there. So by adding these in here, it does more than emulate the design, but it is emulating the design of the character that I'm going after. But it also kind of breaks up the stark differences of the layers so that you can actually tell that it's popping out and creating that texture that I was really hoping to get out of doing this. And I was using these GSO blocks to start with, and then I realized it's not enough. Even changing the direction of them and making it where they pop out all gray on one side just wasn't what I was looking for. I wanted something more than that. So I ended up going with these little armor plates, and I think it really kind of helped. If you can see right there, it brings in a certain something to the guy. And the same thing down here. I ended up putting the joints But those I kept as just the GSO blocks because I do like the fact that it's different. I would have preferred a different color, maybe something completely silver, maybe something off-white, but that is what I had to deal with since I couldn't use the color blocks. And then down here for the shoes, I didn't want something too fancy. I didn't want like these big boots or anything like that. They are a little bit bigger, kind of a little bulkier than I would like, but they are very close to the size of his legs, which are really massive. But then again, you would imagine a bot of this size to have really thick legs like this. And then, of course, it has the little toes down here, the little, you know, kind of cool little aspect. And of course, like I said, there's the wheel right there. I did go with a smaller wheel pretty much wherever I could fit it. We do have a space for another small wheel right here, and I may end up having to use that space, but I didn't want the wheels too close to one another because then they won't be able to turn. But turning may be the least of my worries if it's just too overweight to actually move. And over here you can see I did put an extra little what do you call that, 0G plate on those just to kind of wrap it up a little nicer than it is. You can see tons of blocks just laying all over the place. I have built this guy up, taken him down, built him up, and taken him down many times. So yeah, it is a work in progress. Let's see. Okay, so the front looks like it's pretty much done. I do want to add some flare around the bot, but let's go ahead and see if we can seal up the back a little bit, because I do need to do that. I think I want to seal up the chest first, kind of figure out how deep I want that chest to be, maybe come out one more going in a similar pattern to the front of the bot. So let's go ahead and figure where that is going to be. I think we actually have this lined up. Yeah. Okay, so we will add one more here. And the key to this is right now would be the perfect time to do it. I'm going to leave it out for now, but I will come back in between and figure out where I want the batteries to be, where I want the you know, wireless chargers and shield generators and things of that sort. But one of the other things that I have to kind of point out that you guys may not know when you do this is if you put these things down and you don't put that extra layer on the inside, when you look through the top, you will see a crack all the way down where you can see inside. Some of you guys may not mind that. In fact, I can show you real quick the crack that I'm talking about. Right there, you can actually see inside. For me, you know, the amount of time that I've put into this guy already, I wanted it to look the best that it can possibly be, but it is going to add more weight because there's a lot of blocks on the inside where technically you don't really need them, but for looks alone, and again, you know, when you create a bot like this, it pretty much is just for looks. You know, it is just one of those cool, fun little guys that you can build and be like, yeah, I'm driving around in a giant robot mech suit, you know? And I will be uploading this to Twitch later today, so you guys, when you watch it, it should already be up. If you wanted to go on there to my Twitch stream or to my Twitter and check that out and be able to download it so you can use it, it's going to be there for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have fun with it. And if you want to add anything to it and upload that for everybody else to try out, go for it, guys. I do not mind you playing around with the design and doing whatever you guys want to do with it after the fact, as long as you guys have fun. And I think that's the key to this. Plus, you know, to be honest, if you guys do mess around with it, I actually can't wait to see what you do, because I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. The things that you guys come up with, the suggestions that you guys leave, they mean a whole lot to me, guys. And for the most part, they are incredibly useful, far more useful than anything I could come up with, because I'm not as familiar with this game as some of you guys are. You know, I usually play just the actual campaign kind of game and mess around in there. It's only recently that I started coming in here to the R&D, and the reason behind that, for those of you who are like, oh man, you just got to Hawkeye, I really wanted to see more gameplay in there, we definitely will be doing more gameplay in there, but I wanted to do more in the R&D because you guys have actually been asking for that for a long time, and I've been putting it off because I wanted to get the Hawkeye in the game so that we could play around with that, and we have messed around with it a little bit. Now it's time to come into the R&D, create these contraptions that we can actually take into the real game and do both at the same time. So hopefully you guys are okay with that. If you want to see more gameplay, definitely leave that down in the comments. I'll give you guys whichever one you prefer, but I do like to kind of come in here and just build for a little bit and see what kind of crazy things we can get. Now, holidays, Halloween is coming up, guys, so that is why I have been doing some ghosts and goblins and ghouls and all sorts of crazy things for that. But at the same time, you know, just having a a mech like this, you could consider it Halloween as well as somebody's costume. So if you guys are going to go as a mech this year or some type of transformer or something like that, here's a little homage to your costume. And hopefully you guys will have fun and stay safe out there, guys, because that's the most important part is to be able to do it next year. I guess is the nicest way of saying that one. Okay, so we are going to come out a little bit more, kind of the same thing we did on the inside. Yeah, we're going to go down, and I don't really need to worry too much about the silver blocks and the armor at the moment. That's something I can come back and fix as I get this entire thing done. But for now, I think it is... yeah, that's kind of working a little bit. It is the back of it as well, so it's going to be a little different from the front. And, having to... I think the hardest part of creating these legs was copying the design that I had created on the first one, because it is so black. As you can see, I can barely see the definition there. And again, that's why I put that armor. Over here, not so bad. Not so bad, there's enough armor pieces, but back here, I'm having a hard time seeing what piece I just put down, and whether it's in the right area or not, so, yeah, it's a little difficult. See, that's way too far back, but that's okay, because I needed that one there anyways. And I guess that is gonna be good. I mean, we need to seal that up, but I don't think we need to come out another layer. I guess we could. I'll look at that here in a second, but I don't really think it needs that much more coming out the back. Actually, maybe it does, because the front has it. So maybe we should put one more semi layer here. You can't, like, from this angle, all you can see is those little stars, and hope you're putting the blocks down in the right order. Yeah, that's not ideal, but it's gonna work. Okay, let's switch back over here. I will put these down because I know I'm gonna need them. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah. Now in the front, I actually went down a little bit over the knee a couple of places. In fact, I'll swing around so you guys can see that. Went down a couple of places right here, just so it looked like it was covering the knee almost as a knee piece, cartilage kind of thing, the bone. In the back, though, I don't think we need to do that. In fact, I think we need to leave it open almost so that you can show that you have a little bit more room back here to actually do what you need to do, because you are kind of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it needs one more row. Yeah, because it is like the back of the knee. So I am trying to imitate life a little bit. Try to emulate, I should say, the actual body functions of a person. Or when you create robots, they tend to do the exact same thing. They build off of what they know. And they're building it off of like the human body, or a grasshopper, or scorpion, or a bat. And I think Leonardo did his plane off of a bat or a bird or something along those lines. So there is a little bit of that in pretty much any invention that you see. So that's kind of why I'm doing it this way, because I do want to keep that design going. In fact, let's go ahead and put some of these armor plates down. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna do the exact same design over here and go up a little bit, and you guys will see how it just kind of starts to pop a little bit more than it was a minute ago. It makes it so much easier to see what we're doing. So we'll do the same thing here. Actually, we need to go over to the side, and another one. Yeah, that looks about right. And down one. There we go. Okay, so that does kind of come up, matches that, goes all the way around. And now instead of this just black mass in there that was just really, really difficult, there's a little bit more. Yeah, and we actually missed a block right there for some reason. I don't know why I missed that one. Okay, so that looks pretty good, actually. So let's come out all the way over here. And how are we going to do this? I guess what we'll end up doing is covering that up, just one whole thing all the way around it, huh? Yep, I guess so. Yeah, because we need to leave that open. So yeah, that's how it's going to look right there. And we'll come down, and we'll have to fill in this small little corner piece if we don't want that to be shown. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Now there are a few of those, GSO blocks that can be seen from inside, where technically we didn't really want that to be the case. That's something you can change. You can go in there and you can remove those pieces or kind of push them a little further back if it's something you can't really live with the design on that one. Those tweaks to me are more of things you do after the initial design is done. And it's taken a little while to get the initial design done. So yeah, I'm kind of doing more of the the necessities before I do some of the luxuries. But it's kind of hard to do that for a long time and not want to go back, especially like when the hand's done and you're looking at like the big laser turret and you're like, oh man, it'd be so easy just to throw some weapons on there and just kind of see it come into effect. Like the little tiny details sometimes brings it together a lot more than the big details do. So yeah, I couldn't really resist on a couple of them, and that's why you will see like the arms are done, and you'll see that's the head has a little bit of flare on it as well. If we go up there, I think I showed you guys, it has this little thing on the top, but it also has this little light, and it's kind of spinning around. It's really hard to show because you can't just focus on one little piece of the bot and say, okay, I want to see that. It focuses on where the cab is, and in case you guys didn't see it, the cab is directly in the center, really exposed actually, but behind some armor plating, and it does actually fire now. That armor plating didn't used to work. If you put that on the cab, the little guns in there wouldn't fire out, but they actually do now. So I love that little detail, and I wanted it to be kind of exposed because when you see mechs like this in the movies or in video games, they always have a weak spot, and the weak spot is always something you look at and just be like, really? Like, you couldn't have fixed that? Like, I could fix that in 5 seconds. Just move that weak spot further back in its design and everything would be hunky-dory. But no. You guys have to leave it, like, all out in the open, and it's just so ridiculous. So I wanted that kind of game mentality of just like, what? Like, why is that right smack dab in the middle of your bot? Plus, if you didn't do it that way, I think the bot would be really difficult to kill. And I wasn't really going for that either. So yeah, I was kind of making it where it was still hard enough to enjoy, but still easy enough to kind of, if we ever fought this against another bot like this, then one of them would eat the other one fairly quickly. All we'd have to do is hit directly in the center. And that's not as easy as it may sound because my guns, they don't really aim very well except for these missiles. So unless the missiles get a direct hit, I don't see that happening. Like, I really, really find it hard to believe that this guy would get one-shotted. But it could happen. It could definitely happen. But we'll just have to wait and see if they ever integrate that into the game. That maybe we can play around with that. Okay, let's see. How are we going to do this? Again, the hardest part is trying to copy what you did on the last one. And the last one, I just kind of looked at it and went like, it could use a piece right there. It could use a piece right there. And kind of went down that way. But now it's more like, okay, am I doing it right? Did I forget a piece in there? And we didn't do the inside. So let me go ahead and do the inside here. It didn't seem like we were going to have much space down there for another wheel, so I think I will have to do the training wheel design that I was thinking about, which will allow me to put almost the, like the Hawkeye. The Hawkeye wheel would be perfect. It has a wheel that kind of comes out at an angle for a bike, almost is what you might assume it would be, a little dune buggy or something along those lines. That's what I've used it for in the past. And let's see, 1, 2, so comes out one more. And 2 more in here. Okay, so we will do that. Yeah, look at that, guys. Look at the difference on size just because of that silver. I'm pretty glad I put that in there. It's just too hard to make out the little tidbits that I really want. And, I didn't do that until recently, actually. I had all this done, and to be honest, just straining my eyes to see where things were, and it just got so ridiculous. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I got to figure something out, and I sat there for a little while trying to do it, and this was the best solution that I could come up with. But if you guys have a better solution, if you guys know of a way to kind of get the detail that I'm looking for, or that you kind of assume that I'm looking for, into the bot without using the armor pads, I would definitely like to hear that, just so I'll know that on future designs. I won't have to use heavy plates of armor to do that. Now, I am using single plates instead of double plates where I could actually use them just for consistency. You know, if you look at it and you have like a double plate here, but they're all single plates over here, it does kind of throw off the design a little bit. Same thing with single blocks versus double blocks. It's easier. It's a lot easier to figure out, you know, okay, I can take this block off and I can take this block off without having to look at it and be like, oh man, now I have to pop off a whole bunch of stuff just because a 2 block or a 3 block or a 4 block is in the wrong spot. I think it would look a little cleaner if I had used 4 blocks when I was designing it. However, at the time, I didn't know I was going to use 4. So yeah, having the foresight of where you've come and where you're going to be going will definitely help you design, you know, better bots in the future. So, you know, Mach 2 of this design, I think I'd make a few more changes to it, you know, just knowing if I had them side by side one another and I was kind of comparing where I had been and where I was going to go with the next one, a few little things like that. But that's one of the things I found about this game in general is the more you do it, the more you build, the better your creations will get, simply because you have that experience, that knowledge of what worked and, you know, what didn't work so well. But as they come out with more and more blocks and they kind of change the rules of that, it does kind of throw you off. And I've seen that in my actual gameplay. If you guys go back and watch my early videos, and there's a ton of them, you will see my struggle of trying to figure out for the very first time when I came into this game what you could do, what you couldn't do. Then seeing as they did more and more updates, changing it on me without me even realizing it and being like, oh, what this design doesn't quite, yeah, it's not working anymore. My airplane can't take off on the ground, and my big giant high tower. My high tower, I think, was one of my favorite bots. It's a design that they actually had in the game for a while there. And what it was is it's just like 4 wheels, 4 little itty bitty tiny little wheels that you get at the very beginning of the game, and you would actually just go straight up as a tower would, like a skyscraper. And at the end, you'd put weapons all over it, and it would just kind of spin around and just annihilate everything around it. And it was just amazing tower to play. Then they started integrating actual weight limits into the game, and you're like, nope, that design does not work anymore because the wheels can't hold it, so you can't do that. And that was kind of a cool little thing, but it did catch me off guard. So yeah, just because you know how it works now doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work that way in the future. Actually, I think we might be finished with this. We need to put some wheels down here, so let me go ahead and do that real quick. Let's see. We are going to put... We'll put like 3 of them down here, like that. Yeah, that's gonna be perfect. So let's do another one, we'll go with 4. We'll do the entire back, and then we'll try to troll around here and see how well this works. We'll probably fall flat, you know, on our face, but let's see it. I hit the fire button by mistake instead of the move button. Okay, so that's keeping me from falling in the back. Not quite in the front. I do have a block stuck underneath me. Let's see if I can go into build mode real quick. Oh no, that's the fire button again. Let's go into build mode. There's a little bit of lag, guys. I do apologize. A little bit of lag. Whoa, where's that going? Holy crap, did it already target somebody? It did. Oh, nice. This thing is a beast. It may not be able to get up hills. I think if it stays in the salt flats, it might actually be able to do what I want it to do. Look at the wheels down there, man. They are going all the way down. They're grinding to their axles. This is not how you'd want a vehicle. But if I could put some boosters maybe somewhere on the inside, and I don't know if those hover pads are really helping or not. I think they probably are. Otherwise, this thing probably wouldn't move at all. Okay, we're pretty close to an enemy. Let's go ahead and fire. Give it a second or two for it to lag out there. There we go. And oh my god, yes. Yes, our mech is a winner. It is going to destroy everything. Danger, real rough. We need a funny voice for this, I think, as it goes through so slow. But then, you know, like World of Worlds, it doesn't really need to be fast if it's this OP. Of course, you know, if you got a Venture bot, right now it has no shields and no repair bubbles. If you had a Venture bot, you could definitely just spin around and completely annihilate the legs of this thing. Oh my god. So much damage. So there's nothing that's going to be able to withstand coming out here to this thing. There we go. I'm firing. That's why it is not moving right there. I think it has to fire so many weapons. Oh my god. Oh great. So these initial missiles from this side over here, they fire a lot quicker and they get to their target a lot quicker. These other ones, they have to like push off, and then the thrusters go on, and then they kind of shoot toward their target. These guys just shoot straight at it. They don't have to pop off or anything. I think those were completely annihilating the enemy. Let's actually see, can we shoot them from over here? I definitely want to see what this looks like. And we're firing from behind. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that first initial volley from those missiles, I think it destroys the shields. And then the big boys come in behind it and just wreck everything that's there. Although this time the blocks weren't completely annihilated. There were a few blocks still left on the ground before every single block was destroyed. There is nobody that is going to be able to withstand this type of damage. Look at that. Look at that. There's like 3 layers of yeah, there's like 3 layers of missiles, but he's still alive. He still survived that one. Come on, there you go. Launch it. Launch. Oh man. Yes. Oh man. Okay, so that one took 2 blasts. Not the greatest. If we had launched that from afar and the enemy got hit by it, he might have come looking for us. So that could be a thing. We might not be able to do as well as we want, especially if it comes close to us. We can't get away from that. And we have no weapons down on its bottom, like shins or anything like that. So that might be something we have to add out there in the field. I don't know if we really want weapons down there. If that's going to be more of a, not really kind of going with the design of what this guy is. But if you're going to make him, hardcore, definitely, offensive, you're going to want weapons down on his legs, and that would just make him impenetrable. As far as shields go, right now, the only concept that I have for the shields is maybe where his kneecaps are, just to kind of give it that look. Again, aesthetics more than actual functionality, and maybe directly in the center of his head so that it can look like he's wearing maybe a I don't know, like a astronaut helmet or something along those lines. I'm not really sure yet what's going to work and what's not. I do want to get him out there and see what he's going to look like in the dark. I think that's going to be fairly cool. But that's going to be on the next episode, guys. So, if you want to see this guy in actual action against enemies that are going to fight, stay tuned for tomorrow. I hate to do that to you guys, but I don't like to make these videos too long, and this one's already about 30 minutes. I knew it was going to take me a little while to build, and the fact that this guy was, I would say, about 90% already done before we started the video will show you just how long I have been in here playing around with this guy, especially the concept of where I wanted him to go. Like, I wasn't sure, when I first started how big he was going to be, so there was a lot of picking stuff up, taking it off, going in one direction and not liking the way it looks. Like this big behemoth over here, I'm still not quite sold on this top left piece. It does look a little out of place almost, it doesn't really fit. And I could add some more of these armor pieces going straight up. I think maybe that might be something we need to do. Let's go ahead and put a few of them down and see if maybe that helps. I just didn't really want to copy the same design from the other side over here necessarily. Doesn't quite look as good on this end as it does on the other end. It does kind of add a little bit more flair to it, I guess. And if we go all the way around it, let's try that. It may not work. It may end up looking a little bit too much of something, but we're going to give it a shot. It's not like we're using those spaces for anything anyways. Maybe lights down the road, maybe strips of lights to kind of shine up and let people know what that is. I don't know on that one. That one looks a little... I mean, what we could do is, instead of these side pieces as just flat panels, we could definitely go with some of these half blocks. I do like the way those half blocks look. In fact, we need to change the direction. That's another thing. When you're putting these down, you can't really see what direction they're going in sometimes, and it's only once you put it down that you get that picture of where you actually want it. I guess we can do that all the way up here. Give it almost a cannon-like look. That's what I did over here, but on the inside. These will definitely be on the outside going down. We might put some corner pieces in there to kind of give it that look that we're looking for. Let's see. We're going to take these off as well. There we go. Just kind of toss them all over the place, guys. We got a housekeeper. She'll clean it up. It's the computer. Thankfully, I don't need to pick all these things back up myself, or I would have to use that little SCU to kind of make sure, you know, we didn't lose any of these if we were doing them in the actual world. But I think this guy would get wrecked in the actual world if I had to do it building-wise and mess with enemies. People just keep spawning all around you, so not really something I would suggest giving a shot, but I mean, if you're adventurous and you definitely want to, I think every single one of those was in a different direction. So, yeah, that's not quite what I was going for. Let's do, nope, not that either. There we go. We're going to go straight up. And because it is kind of at a weird... They do match up, though. They do match up over here. So what we could do is take these corner pieces out. And we'll try a couple of these corner pieces and see how well... not really. Maybe up here they would work a little bit better. Like that. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. It's not fantastic, but it's not too bad. So let's do this one as well. Yeah, let's not... Yeah, let's do over here in these corners. Another couple of those. And as far as the blocks that go in the center, the ones that we've taken out, I kind of like the fact that it's, you know, a little darker in there. So I may end up taking all those out that are still left. Kind of take these out. No, it might have looked better with those in there, actually. Let's do that. Maybe just not up on that top piece. Let's try these corner pieces and see what that looks like. It does give it a little bit more depth and kind of gives it layers. And that's what I was talking about before, where it gives that unique look to it. You could even go so far as to put some of these on there. I don't want to go with the large ones, but you could do the single ones on these top pieces. However, I do believe that's going to get in the way of the missiles on the inside. But not really a big deal if you think about it, because those ones on the inside, they don't fire anyways. So they're just there for looks. Yeah, that could work. Let's see. When we fire again, freezes for a second, and then actually for more than a second, and then it fires. Did it destroy everything? There's nothing over there for it to destroy. Okay, let's back this up. We'll go see if we... Oh, no, backing up is not an option. That definitely... Forward is the only way to go. And the only way to go is on flat terrain. Look how slow this guy is. He is just... Yeah, he's a little heavy. I don't... If you went thicker on the legs so you could add more wheels, you will make it look a little weird, I think. I don't think it could really stand to have more depth to it. The arms definitely could, I guess. They're not supposed to really be arms, though. They're supposed to be like turrets that kind of come off from the body. That's why I didn't want them to be, you know, like with elbows and things of that sort. It was very much of a design where you could see it kind of folding back in on itself for the character that we are going for. Now, this is not the normal look of the character. This is the big bad guy version of himself. It's, you know, more of a Uber kind of version of the guy I'm talking about. Some of the other hints I might drop is he does run around with a partner, and he is, the guy I created here, is more of the sidekick of the duo. So yeah, you know, it's there might be, you know, a lot of jumping involved in the game as well. So hopefully that's enough hints. I know somebody out there is going to get it, but yeah, definitely I hope somebody's going to get it, because he does look a little like him, but not as much as I would have preferred. Very difficult to get the proportions right. I think his head is okay. Might be a little bigger, and I didn't put a mouth in, although he should have a mouth. He is supposed to be a robot, so, you know, another little hint right there. I think you guys probably already figured that one out as well anyways, but there is a giant bomb over here, or at least there should be, and I don't see it, so we might be too far away from it. Or did we destroy it already? We might have destroyed it while I was test firing my weapons over there. Holy crap, did we really? Oh my god. Okay, well, then that is definitely something. So guys, I do want to thank you all for watching. As always, I'm AC Gamer, and I will definitely catch you next time. Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention, and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.